And welcome to Lynes on Design. I am so excited about today's show. It's going to be a little bit of history, a little bit of education. We're going to have a great time. My friend Robin Jones has joined us to talk about wood. We're here at Antique Heart Pine Flooring and Accessories. And I'll tell you what, our cameraman Butch walked in today and he's been in heaven since he walked in. What we really want to talk about, and thank you for doing this. I know you're crazy busy.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
But I think many of us appreciate our flooring as the anchor to our home. And we oftentimes have a dilemma, you know, do we do carpet, do we do wood, do we do stone, what do we really do? Well, I'm a huge advocate of wood. And I think part of that is because I've been educated by you. How about that? Does that scare you? and the reason I've been educated is because there's a lot more to wood than meets the eye, and a lot of it is really the history of the woods that you're choosing. So if you can, what we'd like to do in this first segment is really talk through antique heart pine floors and some of the things that you do, and then you're going to stay with us hopefully. And the second segment, we're going to talk about some new woods and lots of other things that I think people may not know about wood flooring. So again, thank you so much, Robin. For joining us. You've been in this business, what, almost 20 years, 18 years or so?
I've been here 18 years.
Okay. How'd you get started in this?
It's a good friend of mine was tearing down a textile mill.
Okay.
And I went up there doing that process, and I was just totally fascinated with it. And that always stuck with me about how beautiful the wood was. I had no idea when they would tore down this textile mill that the size of the wood and the beauty of the wood. And when I got down to Hilton Head, you know, with the building industry starting up, I said, I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
There's a market here, exactly.
And,
why textile mills? I don't get it.
Well, see, my favorite wood is antique heart pine.
Okay, and that's what this is. I'm going to move out of the way here. Okay.
And then textile mills, right after the Civil War, when the Industrial Revolution started, all the textiles mills sprung up. And I like the textile mills that were built between 1877 and 1885. And most of the wood, and what's unique about the textile mills is long leaf pine.
Long leaf pine, okay.
Long leaf pine, and it's real long links.
Why? Why did they use that?
Well, because of the links, and it's had such a strong tensile strength.
Okay.
See, when they were building textile mills and they built the supporting beams, they were 24 feet long. You couldn't do it out of oak because oak wouldn't get much over 12, 14 feet long. Where the big pine beams, they'd cover 12 by 16, you know, 18 by 20, and some of them were 24 inches by 24 inches. And they would span such long lengths, then they could build up to multiple stories.
No steel back then, it was all just thick.
It was all wood. It was all wood.
So when we talk about antique heart pine, this is reclaimed wood?
This is all reclaimed wood.
Okay.
And to give you a timeline,
Yeah.
this wood, these trees were growing when George Washington was president.
Okay.
And
oh my gosh.
And that gives you a timeline. And by the time they matured, you know, hundreds of years later, you know, they were cut down and textile mills were built.
Can you talk us through some of these antique heart pine floors, please?
All right. This wood this pine right here is what we call decking. This is actually the subfloor in a textile mill.
Okay.
And this is the decking. This is a piece of subfloor in a textile mill. It ranges in size from 3.5 inches thick up to 5 inches from thick.
Yeah, this way. Yeah.
This way. And it'll go from 6 to 10 inches wide. Well, we call it decking, and that's the term for it. And it was actually the subfloor of a textile mill. And you see all these holes in it?
I do.
Well, what they did in a textile mill
Okay.
is when they laid the decking down, then they'd come back over it and nail maple over top of it. And the hard maple would protect the soft pine to 100 years of
Abuse.
abuse. Dragging stuff around, machinery and whatever. And wherever they nailed the maple down and bolted the equipment down, that's what gave these holes in the pine. And people ask, well, where does it come from?
Yeah, where's it come?
That's what this is. And what happens, the first cut
All right.
will have most of the nail holes in it. The second cut will have a few, and the third cut, you get 3 cuts out of this.
Okay, 3 cuts out of a subfloor.
Out of this one piece of decking.
Got it.
And you'll have 2 wide pieces and a narrow piece because of the spline right here. This will be the top cut will be the nailiest. The second will be hardly any nails, and the third won't have any nails in it.
So as a customer or a client, do I come in and say I want a lot of nail holes, I want it to be more uniform?
Well, what it is, when we're milling out of decking, it's the mix.
Okay.
You get a mix of the first, second, and third board. It's the whole mix of it that gives you the whole look.
Okay.
And you got really two, in a textile mill, you had the decking, which gave you a lot of character with the nail holes, and then you had the beams.
Oh, this is the beam?
This is the
beam.
beam.
Now what
wood.
makes it,
See, you don't see any nail holes
Correct.
in this because it was so wide like this. And this is what the decking was nailed to. So that's a real clean, polished look. Well, both of them are just as beautiful, but the decking's got more character.
When I'm talking about getting an antique heart pine floor one way or the other, advantages to it, disadvantages to it, why? I mean, just the history and the richness of it is pretty amazing.
Well, in South Carolina, in the building areas that we're dealing with, it's all low country homes.
Okay.
All right, so the low country home is dictating basically rustic pines and rustic oaks and other hardwood. It's got more of a rustic, relaxed feeling. I call it rustic elegance.
Do you go to textile mills from the south? Are they in the north also? Do you reclaim from all over?
Well, what happened right after the Civil War, when the Industrial Revolution started, the North started first. See, the South was still poor, and when they started building all the textile mills up north, all the wood was shipped out of South Carolina and Georgia. It went all north. It went all north, and so now it's all coming back home to roost.
I love that. I absolutely
it's all
love
coming
it.
home.
When you get a home, do you hand pick pieces and go in and then you mill it, or how does all that work?
Well, when the client comes in, they come in here and they start looking around, and they're really amazed at all the different reclaimed woods and the new sawn woods we have, and whatever they gravitate towards when they come back and start rubbing this board 2 or 3 times, and that's the board. And then from that point, we want to see how rustic do they want it. Do they want a lot of nail holes? Do they want it not so many nail holes? So, and see what her wishes are.
We were talking about doing lines on design and having psychology and mindful, and you think, oh, wood floors or floors, but it really is interesting. You said that when people do buy, they sort of they get attached to the history as much as anything of the floor.
Well, it is. When you buy a new board, I mean, there's no history to it.
Right, new board's new board, right.
But when you get a antique floor that came out of a textile mill that was built in 1877, it's, and knowing that tree was growing when George Washington was president, I mean, it's just got
pretty impressive
some bang to it.
All right, you got to give me the good news, bad news about a heart pine floor. Not good news, bad news, but I like the character of the floor. From a maintenance standpoint and things like that, are there rules of the road?
Not really.
See, that's a big misconception, isn't it?
Well, I have, you talking about cleaning the floor?
Yeah, cleaning the floor. You told me the only rule of the road is take your high heels off.
Correct. I tell people when they put, with all floors, whether it be pine or oak, there's 3 things. that you do. One is you put felt
under your furniture.
under all your furniture.
Smart.
Like
Okay.
these little pieces of felt right here. That'll keep from scratching it. You put felt.
Oh.
And if you have a golden retriever or a lab that's under 2 years of age, do not throw the ball in the house because they'll run and slam on brakes.
Okay. I like
And
that.
the
I like
third-
that.
Yeah, I mean it is
what it
mine did
is.
the same thing.
Yeah.
And the third thing is, I know ladies hate this, but try to do not wear stiletto heels on beautiful wood floors because
Actually,
they
the-
put dents.
Actually, the truth of the matter is we probably love wearing our stiletto heels as we walk in, but we're probably very grateful that we have to take them off when we do enter.
Right.
Robin, there's so much to talk about with woods, and we've got a lot more to show you. So please stay with us. There's a lot more to come here on Lynes on Design. We are back here on Lynes on Design. Again, Robin Jones is with us from Antique Heart Pine Flooring. I love talking about the Antique Heart Pine. I'm also really interested in this dark walnut. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Dark walnut. Yeah, we're doing a lot of dark walnut right now, and these floors are pretty in most people's dining room tables.
Yeah, I mean,
after
they're
they install.
gorgeous.
I mean, they are just breathtaking floors. Now, I call them wow floors, and I call the pine wow floors too, because people walk in, they just stop and go, wow, look at these floors. And this is the 8-inch. We're doing a lot of 8-inch, but what also is popular is a random.
Ooh, that's pretty. I'll hold this guy. All right. Ooh, I like the random.
These are 3 different sizes. This is a 6, 7, and 8-inch.
All right.
Random.
And are these reclaimed or are these new?
No, this is all new.
Okay, so this is new.
Yeah, this is
okay.
this is not reclaimed, and what we call is live sawn. It was sawn. It was cut live and then sawn.
Okay.
Sawed, milled.
Is walnut a hardwood?
It's hard. Pine and walnut about the same.
Okay.
It's not like an oak because everybody compares.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, ooh.
That's the first question I always get.
Yeah.
Is pine or this hard because they're comparing them against oak and hickory.
Okay.
But if you go by those 3 things I talked about, don't
It doesn't
throw the ball,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
See, I think that's the key.
That's
That's
the
kind of the
whole deal.
takeaway.
I mean, it's not like you know, when you put a floor in of this caliber, a high-end custom floor. I mean, you just naturally take care of it. I mean, you
And that
don't
makes
drag
sense.
things across it.
We've talked about the antique heart pine. We've talked a little bit about walnut. I love the oak. It's really interesting. And I'll tell you what, in preparing for this, you've educated me, and I think there's a lot of great information that I'd like to have you share with everyone. Talk to me about the oaks.
Absolutely. What we have here, we have both reclaimed antique oak.
Okay.
And then we also have new sawn oak.
New sawn oak.
Right. Now this is not antique. This here, this, and this is not antique.
Okay.
Right. Let me kind of back up. The antique oak is 150 to 175 years old.
Oh my God.
It's got, this is real popular right now because of the rustic patina. It's got all the saw kerf marks in it from where it was cut by the Amish with circle saws. And the circle saws gave it this saw marks here. Well now,
It's so
these are
pretty.
all exterior. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the exterior boards on barns and other structures that they built that gives it this rustic patina look, from the weathered look. Well now, this, we're doing a tremendous amount of oak right now. This is all new sawn oak. And this is white oak. White oak right now, we're doing 10 to 1 white oak to red oak.
Oh, are you really? Okay.
Reason being is because it's white and we can stain it any color.
Oh, that makes sense. You know, the grays and the driftwood colors are so popular right now.
Oh, that's real hot.
It's beautiful.
This is Minwax's brand new color, weathered oak. It hadn't been out
Fix
for
it while
about
we
2
can.
years. And this is they have 2 new colors, weathered oak and classic gray, and it's a mixture of 2 that we do here to give you this look.
I wanted to ask you too about something like the European fumed oak versus a white oak versus a rustic oak. What does that even mean?
Well, this is really cool. we just caught on to this, where the Europeans have been doing this forever. The European fumed oak is white oak, just like this. Now, the key word is fumed. What they would do is when they'd build these beautiful French chalets and so forth, they'd take ammonia, big vats of ammonia in there, and fill them up with ammonia. And that ammonia would fume off, and it would react with the tannic acid in the white oak, and it'd turn it from this color to that color. That is not stained. That's
this is not stained? So this is a natural chemical reaction?
That's a natural chemical reaction.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that neat?
It changes the whole look.
The whole look.
Oh my gosh. So are you using a lot of this too?
Yes, I am.
It's beautiful with kind of the gray undertones.
Right.
So ammonia
reacted with the tannic acid in the white oak, and it gave it that look.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to walk next door too, because I know you've got a million things to look at there. All right, you got this piece out. Tell me about this. It's gorgeous.
Well, it's all, this is several species of wood, and it's all random, because when they were building these barns, you know, as they would cut a board, however it netted out, that's what they nail on the barn.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Little did they know it would be so gorgeous.
They had no idea. And back then, they didn't care. It could have been just a dairy barn, a hay storage barn, or whatever.
So when you reclaim this wood and you're doing someone's floor, how do you lay it out? Do you just get the big pieces and then?
Well, we get it, usually when we get this, it's in about 4 to 5 different widths.
Okay.
And then we'll try to run it and stagger the width so it'll come across the floor as a pattern.
Is there a rule of the road as to how a floor should run? Does it run vertically, horizontally? Is it personal preference?
Well, let's say when you walk into a house, you come into the foyer, and then let's say you go into the great room. I like to go from right to left, where you're crossing over the boards instead of looking down the boards. So that way it doesn't look like a bowling alley.
Oh, I never even thought about that. Right. You know, one of the things I'm doing more and more of are painted floors. And I know you've got some examples here which I think are really pretty.
Yes.
These are so beautiful, painted floors.
That painted floors are really popular because what we're doing is a lot of people, when they get upstairs, they want to do carpet, and I always suggest, well, why don't you do a painted floor? And the numbers come out the same as carpet.
Oh my gosh.
And you can play with so many colors. And these colors that we do these painted floors with are all the Benjamin Moore historical colors.
Okay, so a Ben Moore historic color is what you use. I tell you, they seem pretty practical to me too, are they?
Yes, and we dilute it down with water. It's a latex paint, and we dilute it down with water, and we'll paint the floor where the grain of wood shows, and after it dries, then we'll come back and put water-based urethane on top of that. We glaze it with like 2 coats of water-based, and it's...
What do you just mop it then?
Just mop it.
Just damp mop it.
Just damp mop it. I used the Bono Chemi floor kit, and you're good to go.
I just want you to know that we've done a whole show today talking about wood floors, and we have hit the tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
there's so much to know, and I think that what you're good at is demystifying. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stories that go along with all this reclaimed wood. It's absolutely beautiful. Robin, thank you for joining us. We want to thank all of you for joining us here on Lynes on Design. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
One of the things, and one of the most important things I've learned today in talking to you, Robin, is that you talk about having a professional in a lot of areas when you're building a home. I recognize now that flooring having you as a professional, having someone who has the history and the knowledge of why I'm choosing the floor I'm choosing is absolutely imperative to have. With all the knowledge you have, you can help guide us to the correct floor for our lifestyle and what we want it to do. We're talking about wood floors today, specifically reclaimed floors. And why do you want to choose a wood floor? There's a lot of real reasons to choose wood. It's rustically elegant, it's warm, it anchors you in your home. Think about stone. I love it, but it's very cool, where wood can just make you feel grounded and warm. A wood floor can really define your personality. There are so many sizes and shapes and species. It's pretty amazing. And as far as maintenance, I've always been a little intimidated about the maintenance of a wood floor. What I've learned today, absolutely not to worry about maintenance. A little damp mopping, and you build on the character of the floor.